Today, the road to remodeling leads to Jacksonville, Florida, home to NASJAX, the U.S. Naval Air Station at Jacksonville, and the Mayport Naval Base. Now, we've been dispatched to the Williams family home. They've requested a house call to fix their ailing deck on their classic Victorian-style house.
Ron!
Hi, how are you? You must be Reen.
I am.
How are you?
I'm just great. This is my daughter, Scarlett.
Hi, Scarlett.
This is Johnny.
Johnny?
Glad to meet you, Ron. Our home and our family's been waiting to see you.
Well, I've been waiting to get here. I understand we have an outside project.
We sure do.
Yes.
We're so glad you make house calls.
Show me the way.
It's out back. Ron, you'll notice the veranda is going to be flowing right out into the deck here. And we come to our first trouble spot.
Hey. Oh, this is pretty bad, huh?
It may be because of the gutter up there. And
Yeah, you don't have much in the way of gutters here. That whole upper roof is just coming right down here.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Correct.
Okay. The absence of gutters is certainly contributing to this problem, but we need to continue our detective work by removing the rotten deck boards.
Yuck.
These first 3 rows of boards were originally put down with screws, and getting those out meant taking the screws out where we could, and when we couldn't, using a variety of pry bars and just ripping them out.
All right.
This board over here is put down with nails, and that's going to require a slightly different tool. This is a nail remover, and this is one of my favorites right here. If you notice the claws, you can see that they come to a very sharp point right here. And if you look at it from the side, it's sort of wedge shaped. And here's how you use this. You take the tip of those claws and place it right at the edge of the nail head, and then strike the back of the nail puller with a hammer. Then we can just rock this back and just pull that nail right out. As soon as we pull up the first few deck boards, we spot the culprit. Leaves and dirt from the overhanging canopy of oak trees have washed down and plugged the downspout. Since rainwater can't flow down it, the water backs up, the gutters overflow onto the deck, and mold and fungus quickly rot the boards. Trimming back the trees and putting screens on the gutters will keep the leaves from clogging the downspout, but allowing a free-flowing downspout to deposit all its water underneath the deck could still spawn more mold and fungus. So to keep that from happening again, we want to raise this up, kind of create an incline so the water can drain out of here easily. We'll do that by shortening this piece of downspout and then adding a section down here that'll carry the water underneath the deck and discharge it out there in the lawn. This problem has gone undetected for so long that the leaves and dirt have piled up at the base of the downspout, so deep they're touching the deck joists, providing a bridge for termites to reach the deck and even the framing of the house. A shovel and a little elbow grease from Johnny make quick work of removing it. We remove the downspout and clean out the dirt, roots, and debris that have been collecting for years. Then I use my hacksaw to cut about 6 inches off. This will allow clearance for the elbow and for a new piece of downspout to be installed under the deck. Okay, now let me just hook this right onto the end here. I reattach the downspout to the house using a sheet metal screw and the original strapping. Before we cover the joist with new deck boards, it's a good idea to check for rot. This is an example of some pretty bad rot right here. You see, I can run the entire shaft of the screwdriver into the end of this board. We'll have to replace that. But the good news is, except for some superficial rot right here, most of these joists are in good shape and we can reuse them. Now that we've cleaned up the drainage problem, we can start to repair the deck. Reen takes charge by putting her family through their paces.
Perfect. Good job.
Using a square, Scarlett draws a line on the decking where the boards will be cut.
Okay, you ready? You gonna hold it for me?
Yeah, I got it. Be careful.
Right, here we go.
Very good.
Piece of cake.
Some of the new boards require a mitered end. To get the exact angle, we simply trace the old board onto the new one. After I offer a few tips, Reen feels really confident using the sliding compound miter saw. Reen and Scarlett continue measuring and making straight cuts in the deck boards, while Johnny uses a saber saw to make curved and angled cuts to fit the boards around obstacles like conduits and rail posts.
Let's see how good this fits.
Reen and Scarlett wisely check the fit of each board before moving on to the next.
Daddy will be proud of us.
Oh, I bet.
Got it?
Is that
Perfect.
great?
Johnny also takes the time to make sure the notches he cut fit perfectly around the obstacles.
That's a good fit.
We've been learning as we go, you know, for the most part, because we've always rented. The perspective is entirely different when you're there and suddenly you're in charge of repairs rather than calling a maintenance man.
We've enjoyed every minute of it and want to learn more.
Almost done.
Yep. This is easier than you thought it was going to be, huh? I
Yeah.
want you to always remember, honey, a man may work from sun to sun, but a woman's job is never done.
Now, when you're building a new deck, you usually use a consistent gap between each board. I like to use a 16-penny nail for that. But when you're matching boards into an existing deck, like we are right here, the important thing is to match the existing gaps. And frankly, in this deck, they're all a little bit different. So we're using shims to match the new boards with the old boards. And once we get these locked into place with shims, we'll go ahead and screw them down. With the board shimmed, we use a pilot bit to pre-drill holes for the deck screws. Now this helps prevent the boards from splitting and recesses the screw heads. Finally, we use 3-inch galvanized deck screws to attach the boards to the joists below. You see how the screw moves? So if the screw moves, you go with it.
Okay.
So that this is always in alignment here. You
Okay.
follow the screw. Push down, lean over a little bit more. Bend your elbows a little bit more. That's it. Nice. That's it. You got it. Just like that. Good.
Good?
Very nice. Okay, get 2 more here and that's it.
Looks great, Ron.
No, fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for your house call.
This will really get us rolling.
You're absolutely welcome. Can I make a couple suggestions?
Sure.
This would be a good time to use a deck wash, a deck brightener on the rest of the deck so it'll kind of lighten it up to match this. And then you're going to have to seal this. Products like this will work great for that. A couple times a year. You've got a lot of moisture back here. But I had a lot of fun.
Please come back and
Did
see
you?
us. It's a
I'd love to.
pleasure meeting
Hey,
you.
I'll come back and we'll have a Barbie out here
Thank
on
you
this
so
deck.
much. I learned so
Sounds
much.
good.
Oh,
Fry
thank
a
you
turkey or
once again.
something.